Hey there everybody, Ethan Millay here, and today we're going to be looking at Agricola by Uwe Rosenberg. Yes, Agricola, the Uwe Rosenberg game, at least in most people's opinion. Agricola is a game about subsistence farming in medieval Europe. You struggle to raise a family, feed them, grow crops, and raise animals, raise animals. I don't know what word I was looking for there. Agricola is probably the poster child of games that really just sort of pick you up and smack you in the face repeatedly. You will struggle. Now, of course, World Championship players would say, no. But you struggle round to round to round to get done what you need to get done by the end of the game. A favorable thing for the game is that there is sort of a certain amount of predictability. Each round, new actions open up, and those actions, while the exact order is usually, you can play that it is, but it's usually not predetermined. You generally know that certain actions will come out in the first 4 rounds, and the next 3 rounds, and the next 2, and you know what the last round's new action will be. It is a worker placement game. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. It's a worker placement game, and you can gain more workers by growing your family. But as you gain more workers, giving you more opportunity to do more things, you have to feed them. So it becomes harder. You have to try to balance family growth with the ability to procure enough food to feed them. Now, Agricola, unlike its younger brother Caverna, can I try this? Yep. So Caverna, Agricola. Agricola, unlike its younger brother Caverna, feeding your family is a lot more difficult, and you will find if you get this game and play for the first time, or if you introduce it to people, a lot of new players' fixation is just on feeding. It seems like all you are doing is just working to get enough food to feed your family, and you say, I don't have time to do anything else. I don't have time to plow fields, sow crops, raise animals, build up my house, increase my family. There's all kinds of stuff. So, you will learn. There are strategies to work around this. There are ways to make it so it doesn't seem, and as the game progresses, it becomes less and less of a pressing issue. But for some people, that is already going to be a turnoff. I really enjoy the struggle that the game gives, and a lot of people who love Caverna, a lot of people love Agricola feel the same way, that they really love that challenge of trying to get to the point where subsistence has been met, and now you can try to grow from there. Now, another difference between Agricola and its younger brother Caverna, Agricola has a lot of cards. There are profession cards, which can grant you special abilities. There are minor improvement cards that you will get, and there are major improvements you can buy. Each player starts with a hand of professions, careers, I can't think of the right term right now, and minor improvements. And this is, again, where if you are starting the game for the first time, or if you're introducing it to people, this can be a little overwhelming. When you've played the game enough, you know to look at your hand of cards, and you will say, 4 of these, I'm not even going to try. 2 or 3 of them, I want to try to get to in this game, and I want to do them in this order, and boy, this is how they can combo. Because that, as you get good at the game, that's where a lot of the ability to sort of overcome the deficiencies of your production come from, is learning how to use those cards, when to use those cards, and when to drive to make those cards happen. And they can do a lot to improve your ability to do better in the game. But if you are brand new, those cards, it's like getting thrown in the deep end with weights around your ankles. So I would suggest, if you are new, and the rule book in the new edition, I think even says this, new players, give them like 3 cards. If you are an experienced player and you're playing with new players, pre-build the cards for them if you want. Give them something to work with, because otherwise they won't know what's a good card to go for, what's a bad card to go for. And I am not saying that I am a high enough level player that, given a hand of cards, I can pick the optimum ones that I need to be working on, but it comes with experience. I wouldn't say remove them entirely, because I think that gets rid of a lot of what makes Agricola as good as it is. Those cards, the variety, the fact that every game you sit down to a brand new challenge, because the board is static. The action spaces are static. They will always come out in every game. So you always know you're going to be able to get sheep. You always know you're going to be able to get pigs and stone and wood and cows. but it's those cards and the combination thereof that really gives you variety and gives this game the kind of legs that a lot of games don't have. You could play 100 games of Agricola and probably never play the same game twice because of the combo of cards you get. Now, some people are going to say, but in the new version, there's a lot fewer cards. And there is. The old edition had tons and tons of decks of cards, some of which were apparently not balanced on the competitive scene. This new edition does have fewer cards. That is true. But barring you playing it daily for weeks on end, I don't think that'll be an issue because, yeah, cards will pop up. You'll see in 4 games you might see the same card twice. Okay, that's not great, but you won't get the same hand again in those games. Yes, it is possible. It is not probable to get the exact same hand in those games. So you don't get the almost unlimited variety that the many decks gave you, but you do get pretty good variety. And Mayfair said that they're going to be releasing, or I should say Mayfair, I've read that Mayfair has said they'll be releasing more decks as we go forward in time. And that's great. Honestly, just one more deck of a similar size, and I think any kind of complaint that there's not enough cards would be moot. I mean, people are just complaining because there's not the 300 cards there was before. But Agricola is a great game, even with the cards that are there in the new edition. New edition has given a more modular board. I think it's given nicer components. The resources are a little thinner than they are in things like Caverna, but that doesn't really matter. There's not a lot of them. I bought some more from Lookout Games' German website. But if you have not played Agricola, or if you have and you're thinking about getting it, the new edition I think is great. I'm rambling a bit here. Criticisms. I think I've spelled it out. It's just for some people, that unrelenting nature, that feed your people, feed your people, feed your people, feed your people, can seem a little harsh. The scoring is pretty tight. You can get some pretty high scores, but people will either be fairly close or far behind in scoring. You will have people who are all within a few points of each other, and maybe you'll have somebody who is 30 points behind. Some people are going to hate that. I think it's fine. I mean, this is a game where when you win, you really feel accomplished because not only did you beat your fellow players, but you managed to eke out a win in the system that is provided to you. This is a game that ties your hands behind your back and it throws you into the ocean. That's the second time we've thrown you into water with Agricola. But it ties your hands behind your back and throws you into the ocean and tells you to swim. And so when you do get back to shore, you really feel like you've done something. I can't recommend Agricola highly enough. It is one of my top games of all time. I just need people who enjoy playing it as much as I do because I'd play this, I think, every week if I could. I think that's all I have to say about Agricola. So this has been Ethan Lay with another No Rules review. If you like what you saw, share, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.